where did all the buyers go?
Well, let's talk about that and October 2022 numbers right now. So let's dive right in. This past month, we sold 1,557 units. It was down 18% from the prior month, which just blows my mind that it just feels like everything has completely stopped. Now, it hasn't. Obviously, we still sold 1,557 units, but we have not had those types of numbers in October since I've started tracking back in 2018. All right, so our lowest price property was a complete teardown. It was listed as a 1-bedroom home on 0.96 acres in Coleraine Township East. It basically was listed and sold for $24,100. And if that property can be split into multiple home sites, somebody somewhere is probably really happy about that deal. Even if it's one home site, 24,000 that's a good deal. All right, our highest price home was in Hyde Park. It was on less than a half acre, and it was 6,300 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms. This was built in 1967, so it was very unique. Now, they had done updates. All the woodwork was white. The kitchen was white. It was beautiful. Just really different style. And just know, like, sometimes we'll have pictures and sometimes we won't. It's because we have to use our own photos. And if I didn't sell it, which I did not sell this one, I have to get permission from the listing agent. And so if I can't get down there to get my own photo and they don't give me permission, you'll not see photos. So we do our best to just kind of explain what it is. But this house just was very unique, and it had a beautiful pool with a hot tub in the back. And this home was listed for 2.7, I want to say, and it ultimately sold, never being on the market, for 2.55 million cash. All right, days on market held at 14, but I mentioned we would start tracking the cumulative days because people take things and they take them off the market, they relist. And so far, those cumulative days on market are at 16. So there's not a big difference. Our median is still 4. What that tells me is the people who are shopping are serious. They're going out, they're buying. Yes, they're giving it a minute to think about it because they can. But right now, we are not seeing super, super long days on market unless something really has a problem or just is overpriced. We currently have 1,852 units available. So we are at almost 5 weeks of inventory, and that number, that's the highest it's been in 2 years. It really hasn't been over 1 month of inventory since fall of 2020. Average sale is down. It's down 2%. Again, not bad. I'm pretty excited that we're only down 2%, but we are still up 6% from last October. So currently, everybody's still positive. But as I asked at the beginning, where have all the buyers gone and what am I talking about? Well, at the beginning of November, we were seeing about 7,600 showings, which is still like way down. On average this time of year, I'm going to guess that we're more in the 8,000s or 8 to 9,000 showings. It just really depends on what's going on, but I will say that's what I've seen the last couple of years. This last week, so between the 8th and the 14th, showings dropped. They dropped to 6,839. So we have 1,852 units, 6,839 showings. when I pulled up the report from Showing Time, which is our showing app, it basically had average numbers of showings per price point. And it literally was like 3.5 showings to 1.3 showings. So even those $1 million homes are still getting some showings. That was kind of my question. Like, did that completely drop off, or was there a price point that wasn't getting showings? And basically the graph just follows, it gets obviously fewer and fewer showings with the higher price points. But 3.5 to 1.3, there's not that big of a difference. Everybody's getting about the same amount right now. I want to talk about trends. And I worked retail for a really long time, probably 30 years in that business. And the thing that I always noticed, because I worked in a mall, I worked in a store that was in a strip center, several different varieties of things, and trends were just kind of something that I could see. I also played piano and guitar, so probably just having those patterns, it just makes my brain happy. When you work retail and you are in a mall and it's super hot or super cold or really rainy, there's more people in the mall. The complete opposite for the strip center, where people have to get out of their car and they walk into that store. Well, the thing about real estate is it's very similar. It's rainy, it's cold, it's super hot. People don't necessarily want to go out and shop. They don't want to get out of their car 30 times. They don't want to walk into a house and trudge through there and take their shoes off. But the other thing I want you to consider is, if you have ever walked into, I'm going to say a Chipotle, because this happened to me multiple times over the summer. And here's what happens. You walk in, there's a line. And instead of the normal 5-10 minutes to get through the line, it was 20 minutes and I hadn't moved. The Chipotle down the street had closed early. So this Chipotle got slammed, just completely overwhelmed, and they couldn't handle it. And after that happens a couple of times, people make other choices, right? Same with houses. People walk in, there's 19 other people in the house, and they just go, ugh, I don't want to do this. This seems really hard, and I'm not the competitive type. Now, the people who got those houses were the competitive type. They were the ones that they trained for that marathon. They're like the Lance Armstrongs who win and win and win and win. And they did. They won. And then now you hear, well, but at what cost? Was it worth it? So all of those things combined, I feel like, have set us up for buyers just really questioning, do I want to do this? Some of them still believe that hot market where there's a bunch of people making multiple offers, they believe that's still a thing. And I know that because I just spoke to somebody about a week ago who was talking about how, oh, you better hurry up and make your decision, honey, because, somebody else is going to come along. And I said, hold on, that's not the market right now. Think about it. Let's talk about it some more. Then we'll go from there. But the perception was that crazy market was still around. So honestly, we are in a completely different market where people are not deciding to buy. And in part, interest rates play a role in that. Inflation plays a role in that. Side note, October numbers for inflation was down. It did not go to the level that they expected. So interest rates did drop. But rates are back down. They had been up in the 7s and they are back down to 6.25, 6. You can buy down your rate even lower than that. Things changed and not everybody got the news. So, people, I think, have just decided, I'm going to wait. They're not we're going to fight until we get what we want. Now, there's a few of those still out there. They're the 1,557 who bought houses last month. But right now, I think we're just in this weird phase where the news has not caught up with what is actually happening on the ground. And besides that, I mean, you understand, the news is there to sell advertising. So they're going to say whatever they need to say to get you to watch. And you'll even notice, even on my channel, I don't make the thumbnails, but you've probably seen some where you're like, Rhonda, come on, that's a little bit too clickbaity. Yeah, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. And, you know, I feel like you can only cry wolf so many times before people stop listening. We need to get people to stop listening to the doom and gloom and start listening to what is actually happening. Great deals on new construction right now. Really good deals on resales. And yes, interest rates in some cases are higher than what you would like to pay, but they're not horrible. Historically, they're still kind of average, honestly. So, you know, just try to remember that if it's what you want, renting or staying put, if that's not serving you, then let's get out there and shop. If you have to sell to buy, we need to start selling first. Don't find a house and then try to sell. Or if you do, just make sure you have plenty of time to get that one closed before you sell yours. Because that's where things have just kind of flipped. Another possibility for why showings might be down, I have been trying to research, like, are investors still buying? What's going on? I finally talked to a few investor friends, and they basically told me that at this point, they are not purchasing anything unless it is just like a deal they absolutely can't pass up. One of my friends mentioned that if they had the opportunity to use owner financing or even buy a property subject to, which is a whole other video we can do another time, but again, not use their money, not put themselves more at risk, but allow them to have just easy breezy. Doesn't matter what the market does. If it's a flip, they're going to make money on it. If rents go down a little bit or they can't get exactly what they think they are going to earn on a property, then the deal is so amazing. They don't have to worry about any of that. So I do think that possibly investors have backed off, and especially the ones who were thinking, oh, I'm just going to jump into flipping. It's so easy. I see everyone do it on TV. They are probably not buying right now. But the people who are buying are professionals. They are making killer deals with people. And if they offer to buy your house for cash, know that you're probably not getting as much as you would on the open market. But you know what? If that's what makes your life easier and that's the direction you want to go and you don't need the extra money, by all means, go for it. Questions do you guys have? What are you thinking? Are you on the fence still or have just totally stopped because you don't think the market is a good market to buy? Let me know down in the comments, and definitely like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.